Hey, it's Aethers back in with Eighth Updates, and I wanted to bring to you today some thoughts I had on Book 2, Act 1, Chapter 1. As you can see, I'm in the beta, haven't really had time to play it. I'm pretty busy with work lately, but I've been watching some things when I had some time, and I'll be honest, nodes look intriguing, right? But here's the problem that I have. So it says Book 2, Act 1. And they call it Brave New Battle Realm. And when I look at this, I don't see a Brave New Battle Realm at all. I'm just going to pick some heroes. I don't care, right? Whatever. Yeah. So when I look at this, I see the same old. Fight some champions. And you get to a boss. Yondu. Yay. Nothing new. Right? I complete it. I get to go to quest 2. Complete that. I get to go to quest 3. Nothing new. So I did a video earlier this year on this. After the first Act 7 came out. Even though this is called Act 7, but the beta is called Book 2, Act 1. Whatever. Right? I won't get into the logistics of all that. But I'm fine with changing the nodes up and making kind of nodes that benefit both the attacker and the defender, right? So you kind of have to think about what you're doing. But it's just boring. They didn't do anything different, right? And so here's my thought, is if you're going to do this quote-unquote Brave New Battle Realm, make it more, in a sense, RPG-based. This is the solo mode, right? This isn't Alliance Quest, Alliance Wars, where I have my own thoughts on how you can make that more cooperative-based, but that's not what this video is about. So this, I think, had a chance to be much more intriguing in that, again, and I talked about this in a little bit in my other video, but what I would do is, instead of making it so where I can only see quest 1 until I do quest 1 to see quest 2, I would open everything up. You can view everything all at once, right? Just view it all at once. And then what I would do is I would make 5 paths on each one, right? Path A, B, C, D. And you fight 5 fights on each path. 5 fights, right? And I would make sure that Act 2, Book 1 is a completely separate entity from every other part of the game. So your champions are not locked. So if you want to use them in your event quest and in Act 2, Book 1, or Book 2, Act 1, or whatever we're calling it now, Act 7, whatever this is, right? This Brave New Battle Realm, don't lock your champions. So if I bring in a Fantastic Four team, right? Doom and the Fantastic Four, I bring them in. They're not locked. I can still use them in other content. So this is a completely separate entity. That's the first thing, right? If you want to do a Brave New Battle Realm, don't lock your champions into this so you can use them in different things at once, right? You can use them in incursions. It can't be hard to write the code. You can use the same champions in incursion as you do in questing mode at the same time, right? So it can't be that hard to write in the code. Then what I would do is, on my 5 paths, I would have 5 fights on each path. And then have a mini, right? That'd be tough. And then have a boss. That'd be really tough. But here's the thing. You'd have 5 bosses, right? But this Brave New Battle Realm should all be about player choice. The whole thing should be about player choice, right? So you have 5 paths on each quest. There's 6 quests, right? And each path that you take throughout all 30 paths, right? All 30 paths, you can only use a team 1 time. So you'd have to have 150 champions, okay? Right? So you'd really have to have a beefed up roster, right? But that's where you could chip away the event questing or whatnot, right? And this should be able to be done with rank 3, rank 4, 5 stars, right? So make the nodes a little tougher, right? Make them like they are now, Maybe bring down the attack bonuses a little, maybe scale the attack down, pie down a little bit, right? Because there's not very many people that are going to have 150 champions that are all rank 4, rank 5, right? But does my main have 80 to 90 ranked up to at least rank 3? Pretty close to it, right? It just takes time, right? And it takes doing a lot of the aspects of the game that Command puts a lot of time and effort into. But so once you complete a path with a set of champions, so Fantastic Four team, right? And that team is locked out for all that chapter. Okay? Not for any part of the game or whatnot, but you can't bring Doom or any of the Fantastic Four into another path in that chapter. Right? So that's the first thing. Then I would say at each fight that you do has a small reward attached to it. And you get to choose that reward. Right? So I would say that you get to choose from any of the things: gold, ISO, tier 5 basic, tier 4, right? You could have even a basic catalyst thing. So where you get a little bit of tier 4 and tier 5, right? You get whatever the things you need to rank up 5 stars and 6 stars, right? You have class catalyst, right? You could select the class catalyst, right? But it's a small amount, like 2%, right? Then you could have, you could do tier 1 alphas, tier 2 alphas, or you could do alpha catalysts where you get a small percentage of tier 1, a small percentage of tier 2, right? 2% or 5% or whatever, right? And then at the minis, you get to select 2 things from the mini. So you get to select ISO and gold, or gold and or the basic catalyst stuff, right? But it's more. So instead of like 2%, you get 5 or 10%. And then at the bosses, right, you get to select 3 things. So gold, the tier 4, tier 5 basic, and the tier 4, tier 5 class catalyst, right? And it's like 25% or whatever, okay? And the bosses are hard. But when you get through the mini, you get to choose the 5 bosses above you. So think about just 5 lanes of traffic. And when you get to fight each 5 fights, hit the mini, but then you get to jump through like with their little portal thing. You get to jump to whatever boss you want. So let's say the path you're on might be great for a Fantastic Four, but the boss on that one isn't if you go straight up. But you could jump to another one that does have a better one. Right? So it would take some planning, it would take some coordination. You have to plan out all your fight. You have to plan out fights for quest 1, quest 2, quest 3, quest 4, quest 5, quest 6. Right? And it's showing right here that the bosses, it looks like they change, right? And you can see here, Yondu, right? You got Black Widow, the new one. You got Black Widow Clairvoyant, right? So it looks like they're changing, okay? Which is kind of cool. But again, I want to be able to select where I go. I want to be able to select my rewards. So let's say I only need the basic stuff, right? I got a bunch of catalyst class. Like on my main, I have something like almost 300 tier 4 class catalysts, right? I don't need any. I could pop those for weeks. And I have so much in my overflow, I don't think I could ever use them all. I mean, unless you could sell them for tier 5 class catalysts, which I'd pop them all right now. But why not do that? Why not? You said in your roadmap, you wanted to give more player choice. I mean, we've seen more of the selectors and deals, right? And then I would still give a completion exploration, but I'd give it choice. And for completion, I would give a champion. I mean, this is going to be hard. To complete it once, I'd give a 5-star champion selector. A champion. You can select any champion in the game. Just select it. And then the 6, or you could choose a generic 5-star Awakening Gem. Right? And then I would say, or even a fully formed tier 5 class catalyst. Really high-end game materials. And then I would say, give a selector, like a choice of selector for 2 of them for exploration. So do the same thing, but just give 2 of them now. So now you get to choose the champion, and I would give a 6-star selector for exploration. This is hard, right? And here's the thing. If you're going to need 150 champions, you should get to select a 6-star if you explore it. You should. You should get to select any 6-star. And you should get something else that goes along with it. Maybe some rank-up materials that you need to rank them up. Because to do 150 champions, you're going to need a lot of skill. I get it. A lot of skill, a lot of time, a lot of effort. It's not for players that just start. My mini account wouldn't be able to do this for another year or so, right? But it boils down to player choice. I can choose my rewards at every stage of the thing, right? I got player champion selectors. We've seen selectors of everything. Tier 5 class catalysts. We've seen them of Tier 4 class catalysts. We've seen them of ISO bricks, right? We've seen them of these little keys in the side event quest, right? The side event quest is amazing. I can choose all kinds. I can choose my rewards everywhere. How hard would that be? Right? I mean, you already have the template for it. Right? So, in short, I think that while it looks fun, it's tired. It's the same old thing that all of Act 1 through 6 is. Right? I'm sorry, you can switch out a champion now. Big deal. Like, so what? Like, I don't even think you should be able to change out a champion. Like, plan out and bring the champions you need, right? I mean, it's a cool feature. Don't get me wrong. I love that it's in there. But I think you should have gone in a different direction, Kabam. So that's kind of my feedback. This doesn't seem like a brave new battle realm. It seems like they just fixed the nodes a little bit. It doesn't seem like they put a lot of thought into kind of changing the way they wanted to take the game, right? Because I can tell you, I've been playing this game for almost 5 years now. Questing's kind of boring. Like, I mean, I try to power through it as fast as I can, so I can do other things that are fun, like incursions. I mean, I don't have time to do incursions. I don't want to grind arenas anymore. I'm tired of grinding arenas. But in units, I want to go do things that are fun and challenging, and this looks boring to me. Like, the fights might be fun. That's great. But it didn't really, I think, change any of the things that I think, besides nodes that were wrong and old and outdated with the game. I mean, you have to be updating. You've got to be upgrading what you do. And I think that they didn't do that. So those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think. I'd love trying to get to 100 subscribers. So if you know, and then obviously do 1,000, be the next big milestone. But so if you know anybody that would love this, please pass it on. And just, sorry it's a little long for the video. I know that there's a lot of thoughts that I had about this. And I thought that they were important to get out. So anyways, if you like what you saw, like what you heard, subscribe, pass on to your friends. Please pass on to your alliance mates. And I would love to get some feedback. I think that maybe if I can get some more people, that maybe somebody will listen at some point. But all right, thanks guys. Appreciate your time.